Oh, I love the timing. I need to pack that so that I can do that every time.
Okay. -5. Do you know what? I'm gonna try this. Beat this. Okay, so I'm gonna try. Okay, let's see what this does. Oh, 5. Okay, it's -5 chips every round. Okay, I'm fine with that. I did like a real not do it. But the one thing I don't get fully, like if your religion has things for it, like it's kind of fair. But I don't really. Oh, that's 2 to 3. I don't really get arranged marriages at all. That's one of the things that like I don't get. Like you even do that in like some people like are like, oh yeah, I think you should marry and like old fashioned. There probably is a reason. I'm not even going to deny it, but I don't get it myself. Blank. So that's a blank. So I'm going to take that off the board by shooting. That makes it 2-2. Okay, so if I take this, it's a blank again. Okay, that makes me. Oh, I missed the always come back.
Okay, retest this. Mostly I set it up here because of stuff. That makes sense.
Flight 291 is now boarding. All passengers, please proceed to gate 4.
We're almost here to the team up, but here's something first. I think there's not anything else, but so yeah, this is the sort of last season before I think the Defenders. Let me just get this up. I'm gonna say. Yep, the last series, which is by itself, before the Defenders, and then they go off, and you have themselves being by themselves, and all that stuff. Again, that will come with everything. Is just I'm just still watching that. So yeah, but this, that just nearly fell off. This, new thing. So there's something behind me. No. Anyway, so this is sort of like a fun thing. It's not my favorite out of all of them. I still like it though. I still think it's really interesting and a really fun idea overall. Again, I'm excited because in season two, in Daredevil Born Again season 2, there's rumors about, and yes, this is important, but I'm going to bring it up, and this is why, that the actor who played Jessica Jones will be in it, which might bring in the idea of maybe Luke Cage coming back, which I'm excited about. They also talked about, Danny Rand, which is Iron Fist, but the fact that I forgot that he would be one of the characters, because again, out of the Defenders, Iron Fist is one. Overall, I like this, but besides this being a mix between the mind and body, because this, you have the story within the physical fight, within the hand, they still have manipulation and tricks, but they're seen as more of a physical threat rather than a psychological threat, even though they do have psychological elements, with the psychological elements coming more through the Danny's father's partner, not partner, but partner, business partner. And overall, I think it's good. I think it's interesting. But the only thing that I would say that would count as an interesting sort of like, just as an interesting sort of idea would be the idea that the characters that are in this sort of get brought back and sort of kind of looked into and introduced as something with the Defenders and something coming up. But again, besides that being interesting in the new series, there's nothing much else. So, but yeah, I do still like this. I just prefer some of the others. Definitely Luke Cage. I like Luke Cage. Luke Cage is badass and I want more of him. That's why I'm like, will Luke Cage come back? Please, yes. Please, yes. But I do think that's interesting. I don't know if Danny's coming back. I don't know. So I hope you enjoy and good night.
Obviously, I did knew this go again. That's the other thing which I'm going to give a quick update on when I do near the end of this. It might be on the first making, meaning the first couple of weeks.
I'm gonna save. Yeah, this is line. You must play 5 hands. Okay, let's see if I can risk it for the biscuit. Okay, Failing badly. Not allowed. Jeez. Oh. I forgot that I have to use 10. It's 10. Okay. Yeah. Take this. It's a blank again. Okay. That makes me a bit concerned. I'm hoping that makes the next one a bullet. Yeah. The one thing I also somewhat weirdly think is fine is a lot of people like they're in like polygamy relationship, and if you're in one, that well, the last one's a blank. So I just need to pick up a couple of bullets. I'm not going to say that I feel like it will work, but to each their own, and I don't know why people are like, oh yeah, don't do this, don't do that. I'm like, I don't care. But overall, I'm realistically not going to be in a relationship, so who cares by my opinion? Because I'm not going to be in one of these things. Okay, I can steal so much stuff. Oh, 1-to-1. Oh, could you find it within you to be okay with me scamming you? Could you just like find it in your heart to just accept that I scammed you and tricked you? Oh. Okay. Shut up!
Ready for my close-up.
Yeah.
Why didn't you lock it? You moron! Also, another episode I somewhat. Actually, not an episode I finished. It's an episode I do know about. Based off Reputation.
Flight 291 is now boarding. All passengers, please proceed to gate 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's another one of these, the story of D-Day, which if you don't know, is a very big, important thing in the sort of like battle. Again, funness. I wanted to watch this. That's really it. So yeah, it looked cool. So I watched it. It is definitely something I would recommend. It is fun. It is entertaining. And it is something that I think, again, it's just hard to find these. These are just fun to watch. I don't know. Again, usually I'm like, here's a bit of spoilers, here's a bit of this. But this is just a fun documentary, so I don't know. But yeah, I hope you like this weird video. But yeah, good night.
What's this? Okay, I'm gonna just skip. Okay. Okay. Oh. Wow. I feel. Oh, I've got two, so I can still do two versions of this. So it'll be my turn after this anyway. So I'm going to do this. Thank you. Oh, and that's good. I'm going to use you because I'm not. This just gives me a room to steal one of your knives. I legitimately would like something like this. It is useless, but it would be fun. Harmy, please. I'm gonna try 2 on all of these. Because 2 on all of these gets up to 80. Which would be the high score.
Publisher.
You could say this show slays. Yeah, I know this is bad, and I don't know how to use that properly. I don't care. So yeah, this also yes, I don't have anything on because I'm not streaming and I'm not actually caring anymore, and I'm just recording with it. When I go back to streaming, I would use the regular jacket, but again, that's been put on hold. My computer's so I'm gonna take it in with a suitcase to some tech people to have them look at it. But until then, Ripper Street. I'm starting to watch this because this looks cool. It's really interesting with all like the ooh. Obviously, Ripper Street is from the obvious Jack the Ripper, if I'm not mistaken, and I find that interesting. And with certain characters, I like the investigation. I love how it looks into certain things. And I like the overall mystery. And I like that you have each episode be its own case. It's really fun that way. And definitely the characters, definitely like the Doctor character. Even though some of the things I would say he does aren't things a Doctor should do. Like smoking while dealing with the cops. I don't know. Maybe. That's not a good. But again, I think that's like, this is meant to take Victorian medicine, whereas like, I don't know how accurate the medicine is and how much they would have known and could have known or should have known. I don't know. But this is fun and insane. And yeah. This is going to be a bit less because overall, besides being like, the mysteries are amazing. Definitely when he's like, oh, is this in this area, by like doing the bag trick, and it's like, ooh, that's clever. Whereas like, ooh, we're gonna drop these bags and see where the distance goes. The one thing that I like is the jewel scene where they have sort of a jewel to the death of guns, and it's so clever and so interesting. And overall, this is just fun in that sort of way. Again, go and definitely watch it, because it has so many mysteries, so much mud, and so much figuring it out. It's just so interesting overall. So yeah. Again, this is just fun and insane, and overall I would recommend for you to watch it. So I hope you enjoy it, and good night.
Okay, I'm just going to carry on with it. Oh, shoot.
Okay, I think, which is kind of a bit annoying. Okay. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's good enough. Oh, it's £2 interest. Oh, £8. Okay. Foil hologramic cards are 2 times more often to appear. Redeem. 4 to 4. Second shell is live! Do it. Leave it. Okay. Okay, it's good that we've got 2 shells. He's got 2 things, so I feel like he can take 1 damage. I don't know if I would say. Okay.
Yeah, you win some,
You lose some.
Yar, you play with fire, and sometimes you get burned.
And And then I die. There's a... Is he on here? There he is. Make the water and you may often find yourself. It comes with a risk, however. I love it. They're doing the hurricane like the Simpsons. Like it's coming in. Oh, that's so funny.
Did you? That seems like the most unpractical.
So let's finally have an end to this war. So yeah, this is Love and War. Love and War. Love and War. Aw. Love is War. And it's basically it's 4 episodes, and it basically is what I think just a little bit more on season 3. I think I kind of preferred where season 3 ended, because that sort of like, oh well, it won't it, and it's sort of like leaving it there. It's like, I'm fine with it, but this exists, so I'm not gonna complain. It's fine for what it is, but yeah. The one thing I do like though about this is earlier on there was this whole thing about like different versions of her in her mind and reacting, and it's like the whole season is based on like all of that. And I like the idea is like, oh, I'm a bit more colder than he thinks, so he won't love me, which I love as an idea. And I also love, at a certain point, the narrator's like, by the way, this isn't real. This is not how, like, the thing, like, this is not how, like, this part of the mind isn't, we don't have this, like, this is normal, we just have normal reality, we're just showing you how someone's processing their mind, and it's fun, wherever they'd be like, oh yeah, this is normal, just roll with it anyway. And I'm like, sure, just break the fourth wall like that, but I just love it. I don't know if this is in season 4 or season 3, they also do a similar thing where, like, when I think it is in season 4, when she becomes a bit exhausted, and I think that's because of the kiss, she chibiifies. But, like, it's like, oh, this is not how she really looks. She just looks like... But in the show, very show, like this chibi version. And it's like, we're just going to show you this, because why not? It's like, this is not how it actually looks, but who cares? Which is fun. But yeah, I do like this. I kind of just prefer how season 3 ended, but this is fun. So yeah, I hope you enjoy, and good night.
Why are you hanging around people who are killing you? That's like being like, well, I'm going to murder you. Like, I've murdered people. It's like, why is everyone doing it? It's like, oh, I'm not worried. It's like, what the
Now go.
Each face card held has a 1 in 2 chance to give £1. Oh, okay, I'm going to get this. It means I don't get the double pounds interest, but geez, that is very useful. Take blind. Okay, I'm gonna do a big discard. And now that was worth it. Full house. This is the weirdest thing ever visited. It's 52. Here. Okay. It's a 50-50 and I don't want to take but gamble. Yeah, that's a bite. That's suspected. Yeah. The one thing which I always say, and I always find it hilarious, is if actual people take the UK citizenship test, how many people would pass? Like I lived in the UK. I was born sort of in Virginia Water. I know the hospital I was born in. My parents were born here. My grandparents. I wonder why. This is the episode that like Ned Flanders goes absolutely crazy, and then like. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to, that's publicize phrase. But I'm then going to play, publish us, publish a Plague Inc. Evolved scenario to Steam Workshop. I've already done that ages ago. I'm confused. Because
So yeah, this is going to be a bit weird. Let's start anyway. So yeah, I found this series, and this is one of the series I'm like, okay, let's look at it. Let's see what it is. Let's like be okay. What would I watch of it? And like I'm like, okay. It was one of the things I'm like, I was adding Channel 4 and like Adult Swim because I was leaving in a bit. But this is not season 1. Hence why I didn't review it ages ago. Again, I think I watched this November, December of like last year. And then I just stopped. Well, I didn't stop. I just watched all 4 seasons and didn't review any one of them. Which is why I was going to come back every so often. But it's here now. And what do I think? Even though it was like maybe a while. It's fun. It's cool. It's weird. There's some stuff I don't get because I have not seen season 1. Like, there's certain character interactions. I'm like, what? And why did I finish it? Even though I know. Usually I'm like, oh, why I can't watch this season because this is season 1. Because I knew it was going to leave Adult Swim. So if I watch this and then come back to season 1. So yeah. And then I realised a lot of the seasons are a lot of disjointed. Besides one character maybe showing up and then whatever happens in the other ones. But again, that's for later. You don't really have much of a connect. But this is interesting. 100%. What this is. So yeah. The one thing that I like is that you have this whole moment of when they two characters sort of like I'll keep fighting and then they become one, which I like that idea of like fusing, which is interesting, and like two characters become one. One reason why I like Steven Universe to be like, ooh, what would the fusion look like? Besides the point of the show. But again, there's a lot of stuff I don't get. The stuff I do get, and I do generally understand, but I feel like there's certain interactions that I'm missing. Again, season 2, haven't watched season 1, because I'm an idiot. But yeah. Besides this being season 2, wow, have I mentioned that enough? 1, 2, 3. It's just some stuff I'm missing, but this is just weird and fun. It does stand alone as its own season, hence why it's progressive and not season 2, season 3. But yeah, it is fun. And I hope you enjoy, and good night.
Fine. A lot of it's gonna be, let's do this. That's fun. 3 axes, 5 axes.
Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can discard because I only have one hand. I'm betting I'm gonna lose, which is sad because I like this hand. Okay, 6, 7, 8. So we just take this. Da, 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 da. Hey! Da, 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 da. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, one more discard because it doesn't matter anyway. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Actually, no, I could have got rid of one of the 7s because I didn't need that as well. Okay, that was a risk. Okay. Even though you need to be at work. Okay. 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 Yeah. Okay. So that's a blank. Freddy. He's on 9. Sits in the party service room 5 nights with hugs on TV. click the cams on toy monitor, then make sure you approach the door. Freddy monitors. Be sure to approach the door is closed to prevent him to give you Mr. Hugs from a jump scare. Scaring him.
This is gonna be way over an hour, and I'm just This is me loading this, being an idiot.
Flight 291 is now boarding. All passengers, please proceed to gate 4.
Let's go! Yeah, this is very memey. But let's go to this review. So yeah, before I ask, yes, I am standing up. I'm moving around a lot because I'm not on this review and that review. My computer's getting fixed, I'm covering or something else, so I'm just doing stuff. Anyway, with this, I like it because it's basically just a way. I know there's other stories like this. Black Mirror has a similar vibe where it's basically, which also there is that coming soon, and I am excited about new Black Mirror. Besides the point, it is basically just, here's just stuff. We don't need to have a contentious storyline throughout the entire episodes. Here's just a bunch of episodes about like a D&D like game about a dark version of Pac-Man. Which I whoever thought of the idea of the secret level with Pac-Man, what the fuck? In the best way possible. What the fuck? It's less the story, more the visuals, but it's still. How do you look at a Pac-Man game and see that? I don't know. Because I think these are based off games, which I think is funny. It's like small things that might be in game and that, because there's a lot of like game titles, which is fun and I love. But yeah, it is really cool and awesome. Also, weirdly enough, this is the intro spoiler was the same second as before. Fatal coincidence, I don't know. Besides the point, I only have one spoiler, which is one scene. And it's like, oh, why would you talk about one scene? Because I like that one scene. It's not that long, it's at the end of an episode, so it's definitely a spoiler. It's the idea that one guy dies and dies and dies, and then comes back, but he ages. But so at the end of the film, or what was it in the episode, why do I keep saying film? I don't know. I'm an idiot. Let's move on. He has this moment, because at the beginning, he goes up to this person, grabs some food, plays this sort of like really interesting fun game, and does this cool thing with like his fingers and the chopsticks, which is clever. Because at the end, it's like, oh, I saw your grandson. It's like, yeah, found him because he looks like he's 80, and like the grandson looked like he was in 20. Obviously, not the same person, at least to her. We know they are. There's shenanigans happening and it's very confusing for like an outside person, but we know why. His machine allows it to do this, which etc, etc. But she doesn't know until he does the same trick with the chopstick, and she remembers. I like that. Because it's like, oh, why would you introduce it in the beginning? Because it's how she knows that he was him. She doesn't need an explanation. She just trusts that these two people are the same person. She can't explain why. You could make the argument that realistically, who would have taught him the trick? His grandfather. And she does originally say, oh, you must be, I must see you. I saw your grandson earlier. And it's like, but I like, because he does it in a specific way, which might not be learnable, that's how he learns it. And that's how, it's like, that's clever. So yeah, this is fun. I just like the idea that it's like, oh, the secret levels, the secret knowledge of the games, but it's just fun and clever overall. So I hope you enjoy, and good night.
Okay. Okay, so reach.
Going terribly. Okay. I found the perfect thing that I had. I said no. Okay. Surrender all identification. Oh. Can I double? I can do it again. I can carry on. I'm gonna say no, because I want at least one double or nothing. I can be like, yeah, I can win this with double or nothing, or at least two. Because I've done it at one, and now I've done it at two. Yeah. Okay. So this means I've won just doing one round. Now I've done double or nothing. And now I've done, 1,400 earnings. Money! Oh, the famous scene where, like, Ned goes crazy. Good intentions, Marge. Hey, bro. You have good intentions. Man. Dude. What's that?
You could do that, yet you can't give each other high fives. Greenpeace.
And now the coolest thing I found. This pen. Oh, you thought it was something else? No, just this pen. So yeah, obviously this show is called, and yes, I have found this pen. It was like in books, and it was like one of those things. We're clearing up because I have said this before, I am moving, and I found this pen. Because it moves my screen, and that's useful for me. Anyway, this. It's really fun because you get to see these cool battles with these cool systems, and the reason why I like it is because of how weird it is. How the battles work, where they have this like dual processing, where like you have this sort of like AI at the back controlling and helping the sort of like machine work while you have the human help with that. I think is so clever and so interesting. But because a lot of this is a mystery thing, I'm just going to. So yeah, the one thing which is important with this is that this is a mystery. So the thing with the mystery is that you don't know much about it. But I'm just gonna say it now, so I'm ruining it. So if you don't mind spoilers, because sometimes I usually watch a lot of spoilers ahead of time. I knew everything coming into Deadpool and Wolverine, and I did not care. So I watch spoilers all the time. If you don't mind. So one of the things that comes up with this is that, one, you have this character and the other are connected. And the more you learn about them, because at first you see this one and then you have a second character that has access to, because each one of these sort of like, I say AIs, they're not technically called AIs, but they're like AIs. I don't know, I'm an idiot. They have this way of like creating these huge, powerful, like, sort of like things that allow you to calculate and make these giant damages, which is fucking cool for some of them. But at the beginning, she does not. And then you have the other one. And all of this creates this really fun image of these two, of this sort of like powers. And when she came, it's like, oh, where did the other one go? And then you learn about that. You learn about her history going to the thing in space. And you realize that has something more to it. And when you learn more about it, it makes it interesting. It also is interesting when you learn about the past and the original one, the original master, which is interesting. It's like, she lied to her, and that's fun, and that's cool. And when you learn more and then learn about the truth, definitely when you learn about why the bad guy's doing this, and when you learn, because there's a segment where it's like, oh, don't you have someone that you would have this? And then it's the person who he deliberately put in the situation where she chose death. It's, I hate you, and why not? One chose to understand. One chose, oh, I have feelings towards this. I can't, these aren't human. I'm just going to get rid of all of them. Which, I'm going to point out, these things are similar to AI. I'm not vouching for AI at all. In reality, AIs are stupid and really bad. In this, they have consciousness and have emotions, so I can feel bad when they die. In reality, them. But yeah, in this, I can pretend they have emotions. So when, like, she's like, is a thing where it's like she chooses death, it's like, are you... The fact that he did that is so insane. It's just so dark. it's one of the moments I'm like, I was like, it was like, and I think the video from like, Daryl Fox Games does better. It's like, oh, sorry, that must be a way to say it. That must be a way to say it. There's not. And the thing before is that these two things are fighting and one might be deleted. And because she's here, that's the only way to save both personalities in this one. So there's nothing much you can do. It's so... And when they do the technical thing of like, they even made this one immune to it. But I like the idea that eventually they go in and I feel like there's going to be a second two because she's left on the spaceship and I feel like there might be a second season of like, let's go and save her. I don't know. I don't think so. But that could be a thing that they go into. But one of the things that happens is at a certain point, he just shuts off all of them. And it's so messed up being like, shut all of them off. And then you see people being like... And it's like, no. Because you see them, their personalities. You see how they act. They, again, AI reality. That. Because like, I like artists having jobs. Surprise, surprise. I'm a person that believes that artists should get paid. Yes, I am taking that grand stand that artists should get paid for their job and not have an AI version of them copying their work. There's a couple of creators that like do a bit of AI. I'm like, nope, I don't want to watch that because they have AI, and I'm like, I don't like AI. There are some reason why I like it. And yes, I know, I'm adding the talk about AI in my review, but because this deals with AI and the thing that I'm talking about at that point is like the AI is turned off and that you feel the connection, I do have to acknowledge AIs might not get good at this, and even if it is taking, you could make this and this. But I do feel sad, but I can also acknowledge that AI do take jobs from film writers, film scripters, people who draw art, people who create artwork. And it's just lazy corporations. Do I believe that AI has a place? Probably. But for factual things, but even then, there's evidence that AI is not great at that as well. And sucks. So it doesn't make a difference anyway. So yeah, it's just one of those things where I just felt like I needed to acknowledge that, I needed to say about that. So sorry about that, but it's one of those things where it's going to be an important thing. If I talk about a show about AI and talk about how the characters that sort of have this sort of like, I don't think they're called AI, but they're robots with programming that act like humans and they are meant to look like humans and behave like humans but are technically machines. So I feel like they're sort of AIs. Or if they're not, I'm an idiot, and that's normal. I just felt like it's sort of important for me to acknowledge that. So yeah, that was long because I talked about AI and I thought that was important. So yeah, that's just a thing I just think is important. I don't know, maybe not. It's just one of those things where because of that, I think this is a really interesting, and yes, I do acknowledge there are other shows that deal with it and I haven't talked about it. I don't know, I just feel like because there's more news on AI every so often, maybe I need to add it. But that aside, I think the show is really fun, and I haven't even talked about the artwork, which looks cool, especially in the fights, because when you see the sort of like, you can see them sort of like having this like spectral form come out. I know it's not fantasy, but you know what I mean. Come out and then go into and then prepare this, and you see these sort of like lights show up, like this sort of zoom, and it looks cool. My favorite one is, yes, obviously, if you watch the thing, you know the scene, is like she sings and does this big attack, which is obviously like her last thing. She knows what's gonna happen, and it's so effed up and so dark. And it's one of those things that I think is really interesting. I also like that at the beginning she was a double agent and now she's not. Again, more stuff, but it's just fun and really insanely interesting. And yeah. So yeah, this one was long. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna let this run until 10 minutes. I don't know why. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like. I do like this series. This is really interesting, but I think a lot of the things is just me talking about AI because I feel like it's something I do need to talk when it comes to this. But yeah, I hope you enjoy. Like, share, and comment your own opinions. But yeah, good night.